Great to have your company on the Semi-Pros. Welcome along to another week. Been a big week in sport. It's a huge week in racing. It is Queensland Racing's week of weeks. It is Stradbroke Handicap weekend, coupled up by the JJ Atkins. 2 races at Group 1 level. We're going to talk racing on the show tonight. Hopefully we can help you find a winner or two. One of the sharpest judges in the game is Blair Gibson. You'll see him popping up all over the place with racing.com. Of course, we see him through brizzyraces.com.au. He's wonderful work with the Gold Coast Turf Club and also does plenty of work with us on Racing Nation. So he's been kind enough to give us his time. Hopefully he can find us a Stradbroke winner. We head out to the Southern Hotel. We're going to play Jag The Joker. Can someone Jag The Joker tonight? And for Hogans Family Jewelers, we have a look at our rocks and diamonds. That's all coming up next. Stay with us. You're watching the Semi-Pro.
Just about due, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Pros. The Semi-Pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Let's go.
Well, it is another big week. The team's ready to go. Jeez, I was watching Troy Gurski's in somewhere different. Roosters jerseys, Australian jerseys. How are you, mate? Where are you?
Good, mate. Good. Yeah, Mrs. was trying to be smart and put the old Roosters jersey up there. We're playing the Roosters tonight. Bit of a home battle here, so I thought I'd mix it in with a few other things up there with the Semi-Pros hat and a couple of old jerseys and whatnot. So, yeah, I hopefully we can get up over the Roosters, but tell you what, we want to be a lot better than we were last week. Jeez.
What was the result there last week, boys?
Yeah, mate, you had a win, Joel. You know, you've been, tell everyone now, you've been telling us for the last 6 days, whatever it is. So, yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, he's looked all right, mate. He's always do first game or two, but don't you?
I don't know about always. There's a few not so good years there, mate, that we didn't look any good at all, but certainly an improvement, that's for sure. Looking all right.
Is it the old "this is the year" for the Eels, or what? Again.
I'm not going to be the one to keep saying it, so I'm just sitting back over here smoking the peace pipe.
I love
that's what I'm thinking.
this time.
If I don't say it, that's what I'm thinking. It'll be the first time I haven't said it, so maybe that's the hoodoo. You know what I mean? If I don't say
We'll see.
I love this time of year when Parramatta are winning and you see all the chat, and then it gets to the point when the finals and they start to get a sniff of a trophy. And you can see their heart break right in front of you. Jesus, good to watch.
I'm not just saying this because Joel's involved here, but is there any more parochial supporters than Parramatta? Like, is it just me, or is everywhere you popped up on social media all the Para supporters that are, or does that happen to other clubs? Or serious question.
No, it would be Parramatta.
Right.
There's really that many bricklayers that from Southern Cross that I use that have got tattoos on the chest or on the arm of Parramatta. It is ridiculous. I suppose that's half the bogan types that support them, isn't it?
Mate,
seriously,
when there was no Queensland team in the New South Wales Rugby League comps, it's where all the Queenslanders played, bud, Parramatta. So it's like a second home for us Queenslanders.
What's your excuse? You weren't even born.
No, I wasn't. You're dead right. But, mate, since about 3-year-old, my old man bought me – I didn't have a choice. He bought me an Eels jersey, mate, and I've stuck with him ever since.
What, so your good brother, the good brother actually revolted and
he's got no idea.
Thought for himself, went for the Broncos, did he?
Yeah, he's the milkman's kid, mate. He didn't have a choice either.
Well, we'll see what happens this weekend. How good was it to have the footy back? Just quickly, just on a general statement.
Sensational.
And I'll tell you, there's plenty happening. So Aussie Rules is back in 7 days' time. Crowd's back at the races in Sydney this weekend anyway.
Oh, is it?
Crowd
owners,
Yep.
people. The NBA is going to play some form of, well, apparently going to play some form of 8-game each regular season into the playoffs with any of the teams that are in contention. So there's a bit going on.
I think the English Premier League's lining up to get into it too, I think.
Mm-hmm. So
Kieran
there's a bit on.
Wagstaff will be happy because I think the Liverpool are 1 win away from stealing the title, so they need to play so that they can clinch the title for the first time.
Yeah, so bit on.
Mind you, that's one club that was just going to win, wasn't it? Liverpool. Before COVID-19 hit, you can actually say they were the winners. Yeah.
So, but there's a bit going on. The flags and holes returned at City Golf Club as well.
The GA's back. I'll tell you what, there'll be some dollars going into your bank account there when you start skinning them now.
Yeah,
again.
yeah, probably come out and shoot 110, and then they'll go the other way. So
Jeez.
we'll try.
Classic
We'll be trying.
sharking.
We'll be
Does that handicap come down, James, or
No, mate, no, you can't come down during COVID. Can't
Come down during the noodles. How's this for a rock of the week? Was he playing a 49 or whatever handicap, shooting bloody 80 off the stick, and doesn't get any handicap taken off him? So he's basically he turns up with an ATM and just takes it off everyone. It's a rort.
You should hustle everyone, G, and be like, I'll back James here. You want to back someone else?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. You got to be on a reliable horse.
Yeah. But anyway,
Make a
it's
bit of
good that
money
the
out of
cup's back anyway.
Yeah. There's plenty on. There's plenty happening. There's heaps happening. So what do you reckon, boys? Reckon about the NBA? So their proposal is that any of the teams that are within 4 wins, they're going to play. Each team's going to play 8 regular season games. That's really all that's going to sort out is who finishes in the 8th seed. Because I think there's I don't have it in front of me, but there's 9 teams in the East and about 12 or something in the West that are in contention there. So they play 8 regular season games, talking about basing it all out of Orlando and then going to the playoffs. They'll dead set be no off season this year.
So is the teams that aren't in contention,
They're done.
not playing?
they're out?
Oh,
Yep.
Geez,
Yep.
that's not
Because
bad, eh?
Because
Bad Monday.
mathematically they can't make it, so there's no point, sort of theory.
If you're ever going to have an asterisk against the season, it's this one, isn't it? In any sport, like having teams that because they can't make the 8 don't even play. A few of those franchises are going to struggle, aren't they? They can't even get games at all. Like they're just done for the season. So,
Yep.
LeBron wants his title, which probably won't really count.
Count to the fans. Don't worry about
Can't
It's good. We'll see what happens, but it's So anyway, that's what they're trying to sort out at the moment. So we'll
just
see
a quick one for Steve with the NBA. Like Steve being our basketball man, who would go in as a favourite now? Glove in a short playoff turnaround.
God, no idea.
Yeah.
Whoever's not right.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Whoever's not sitting out.
Yeah.
It's knowledgeable.
They're not burning taxis or whatever's happening over in America. Yeah. At the moment.
There's a bit going on.
Oh, there's a
Plenty
bit
going
happening
on.
there. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows who'd be favourite?
There's a bit happening.
Probably Jordan. This is the last basketball game I watched.
What? Even
He
the
might
Wizards?
come back again.
Yeah.
Even the Wizards. So we'll see what happens with it. So a big weekend this week against Stradbroke. Gee, you got some good memories of the Stradbroke, Steve. Back some winners there, haven't you, over the times?
We're back a few winners. I've got the winner this year too, just sticking to the tried and true criteria. But I'm looking forward to seeing Gibbo's thoughts anyway. Because yeah, there's one way to make money is just follow Gibbo, isn't it?
Yeah. He's an ATM, that bloke.
Absolutely. Well, he's our special guest on the show. I think he's backstage. We'll get him on the show. We normally have a big grandiose intro, but we don't have one for him. So is Gibbo there? Is he on the show? Here, hang on. He's
The boys must have known I was sitting back. The boys must have known I was sitting backstage. That's outstanding.
What's going on?
Is there like a GIF or something like where someone's coughing up money or something like that? Like appropriate. For
I like Glove to answer the last one. Who's going to win the basketball? Who cares?
What's doing with your background picture there, by the way?
Mate, that's one of the great nights of my life at the darts. We went to the darts at the Gold Coast Entertainment Centre at the Turf Club. If you ever get the option to go, whether it's Gold Coast or Brisbane, or if they bring it up there, just go. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that
And
good.
get a seat next to the bar. How lunatics. No, you can't get kicked out at the darts. Oh,
You have to make it. Yeah, have to make a trip over to the Palace over in England, do a Christmas New Year then one time. I'll tell you what, that'd be some atmosphere over there. That'd be ridiculous.
Be a
Mate,
crack.
I couldn't believe how many they fitted in that event centre, mate. There would have been 1,000 at least, and it was they're just big telly so you can actually see what they're hitting. But let's be honest, not many actually cared. It's just a massive party for about 4 hours.
So you were well amongst those festivities.
Yeah. Also happy to talk about Parramatta for the next 20 minutes. one of the great Queenslanders, Peter Sterling.
From
Isn't he?
Toowoomba.
Toowoomba boy.
Toowoomba boy.
Did Paul
Yeah.
Carriage move to Queensland?
He played for the
Yeah,
Clydesdales, Paul Carriage.
He did, yeah. Thought he was around for a bit.
Yeah, he had an unceremonious ending at the Eels.
Yeah, poor bugger.
Yeah, he did. Certainly did.
Didn't work out.
One of the
real well.
greatest brain farts that you ever see. Paul Carriage.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, it was
Didn't want to remind me.
No.
Yeah, no, we can steer away from that. Now, Gibbo, for those that don't know who you are, tell us a bit about what you do. GrizzyRaces.com.au, form analyst for, well, it seems everyone these days.
Overrated, degenerate punter. Is that it? No, look, started Brizzy Races website probably 9 years ago, and that sort of built up to ridiculous numbers, but been full-time sort of horse racing, punting, etc. for probably 18 months, 2 years now, and now sort of working with racing.com and doing previews for them and Bet Easy on that platform. Do a little bit at the race club midweek, slash Betfair, and still obviously a bit of the Brizzy Races stuff as well, where possible.
So how's that all going for you? Full time?
Unreal. Yeah, no, never been better. It's the racing.com setup's outstanding. Loving it. Loving life.
Yeah. Righto. So Stradbroke this weekend, one of the great races on the calendar for us. Bit different this year in general. Your thoughts, the race, how will it be run? Is it much speed?
Mate, it's hard to. It's a really hard race to work out most years. I'll tell you what, this Eagle Farm track, we're still working it out. I do struggle a bit there. It is a bit horses for course. It's a big tick if they've run well there before. One of the main issues, I think, if you watch last year, they sort of cornered properly, and horses down the outside were sort of favoured because horses on the inside were falling back, like you see in a Melbourne Cup. So the clear running down the outside was a place to be. But recently, Eagle Farm, they seem to come 5-6 off, and they just find their own area. So how important gates are, I'm not sure if we're overplaying it or understating it if they race normal tomorrow. But so here's last year's. You can see Trekking in the blue with a white cap and Tie Zone down the outside. A few of them in the inside there are getting stuck behind slow horses. Whether they race along the fence, you think they would, being a Group 1. Anytime you can save ground, you think they would. But, yeah, there's a few little questions about Eagle Farm. Obviously, those two that run 1-2 last year are very good horses, and their Tie Zone gets a nice, I think it's about 4.5 kilo turn in the weights, but very interesting race.
Well, let's have a look at them. We had a comment pop up there before from Chris Tate said the man's a genius. So you've been referred that a few times.
Champion.
He's a big fan of you. We're talking before about trekking. Chances? What do you make of trekking going back to back?
Genuine chance. Look, they say, the record of them carrying 58 or more isn't very good. Look, he won it. Look at that. He's won well last year. He comes here off an exceptional win in Adelaide. Look, I got no real knock on him. The gate's not ideal and the weight, but I just think being the class runner, he'll be competitive. He's not in my numbers, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him run well.
The two, Kementari.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. He's about as tough as me. I just can't have him, mate. He's just intestinal fortitude is horrific. Obviously got quality, but can you imagine after his runs up here if he come out and won a Stradbroke? Racing would be broken.
You'd give it away, wouldn't you?
You would. You'd stop punting.
So he's out. Righto. What about the flying Toowoomba horse, Nicanova, trying to be the first down source to win the race since 1973? And I would dare say, I don't know the record books, but Steve Tregay could enter the record books as the first bloke to breed, own and train a Stradbroke winner. Nicanova. He did all that.
He's a genius. Big fan of the trainer. He places them beautifully. I thought the run fresh was outstanding. I think second up, 1400 Eagle Farm. It's just tick, tick, tick down in weight. The only little query is the gate. You'd just love to know how aggressive Orman's going to be. He's going to have to find a spot. He's going to have to find cover. You don't want to be 3-4 wide facing the breeze. So I think you'll know his chances after 400. I mean, he was even over racing at the 600-700 last start, and he's still just let down brilliantly. So, I mean, it's the perfect race for him, and very rarely does he get a weight like this. So, just comes down to luck in running. He can definitely win. Just needs to find that spot early.
What about Rainier, another of the Godolphin Blue?
Yeah, look, a good horse. I've got it as a little outclassed with that gate. I sort of thought if it was to win, it would need everything to go its way. So not for me. Nice horse, and I wouldn't mind owning it, but I haven't got it. I haven't got it winning.
Right, a lot of these horses came through this race, won by Victorum last start. The Victory, Victorum, can it do the Victory Stradbroke double?
We got the Victorum fan club here. There you go. Yeah. Look, he's just a really good horse. Who forget that 1-2 back. He was buck jumping at the start, and last start showed his true colours. He's a genuine Eagle Farm horse, as we said. Horses for courses. He grows lengths better when he gets to this track. Everyone sort of said, everything panned out last start. He mapped beautifully. Well, the same's just going to happen again from gate 9. I think 1400 Eagle Farm. If there's such thing as a safe bet, I'd sort of say it's him. I just think he will get the right run. He will run well. And it's just a matter of holding off those few that might flash late at him. But he's the one I've got on top at the moment.
Okay, so he's on top. What about rounding out the top 6, Tie Zone? We saw him there running second last year.
Yes, he was my on topper before the draw. I thought his last 2 runs have been exceptional. As we said, he's got that 4.5 kilo swing on trekking. Now, the big thing with him, I think, is the weight. They're all dropping weight, most of these horses, from that last start, but he's not a big horse. And I just think that weight drop is going to be better for him than a lot of these others. And he hasn't carried this weight since last year. He's been in weight for age races. So he can definitely win. Who rides, Good Robbie or Bad Robbie? Can you tell me that? Because if Good Robbie's on, he can win. If he gets a Robbie shocker, he can't.
Mate,
Check
one of
Robbie's
the Sydney
accounts.
Yeah, that'll tell you. He's got a bet easy account that'll show you what he's doing. Mate, one of the Sydney siders, Bjorn Baker's bringing up Crack Me Up. What do you rate his chances?
Oh, man, I'm a big fan of the horse. He's obviously getting older, but look, 1400 Eagle Farm, if you told me that at his best, I'd dead set back him here. You wouldn't believe we took Care to Think down to a Group 3 in Sydney there when he was flying. Jeff had him 3 wide the trip, shot for home, and who do we get run down by? Crack Me Up, the Queenslander. Sick. But no, he can definitely win. I like the first up run. Like I said, whether his absolute best is past him is the question, but simply the fact I like the horse, I give him a chance. Bjorn Baker knows which ones to bring, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Certainly does. Mate, number 8, Vega 1, Tony Gollins half declared this, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna probably kick myself here. Those first 2 runs, really quiet rides, attack the line. He was the one you wanted to be on. 3 wide last start. Looked disappointing. I've jumped ship. I know a lot have with me, and we might be regretting it because you've got to forgive him that one bad run, especially if there's excuses. So definite winning chance. Again, that gate, not ideal, but yeah, I'm sort of, he's the one that I've dropped off that I'm a little bit scared of, to be honest.
Yep. Then we shift to number 9, Chief Ironside.
Any man down in Sydney, Tommy Aylock, tries to tell me it's got a bit of ability, and I'm sure he's right. Just off those last couple, might roll forward, but he's one.
I was going to say, does he roll forward?
Yeah, I think he'll roll forward. Might not lead, but I have him in the first 4 or 5, I reckon. And he might give some sight, but you can't have them all. So he's one that I've let go.
Yeah, and just for me, mate, the one that's going to finish me off, number 10, Graf. Also a Sydney sider. Been a bit disappointed this prep, hasn't he?
Hasn't he? What? Yeah, no, you've summed it up beautifully. He was going to be a star, this horse. And I guess you have to give him his crack at it, but geez, something would have to change from his form so far this prep. He's not up to it on what he's been doing.
Mate, moving on, number 11, Deep Image. We spoke earlier about horses that like the track and like the distance. Well, this fella, he ticks all those boxes.
Yeah, correct. And I think he will push forward from the 18. He's probably the leader in my mind. And look, as much as the horse grew a leg last prep, let's be honest, he's not really one of mine, but I have liked what he's done. He's sort of improved each run here, and he's peaking for this. So, look, I think he'll be cheeky. I think he'll lead for a long way. Wouldn't surprise if he fell into the first 4, but again, he's not in my numbers, but I'm respecting him.
The 12, Winner Brian, trained by Edmonds, mate. Any chance?
Well, geez, they backed it last start. I was shocked. I think people might have been looking for that fresh horse on the scene, the new horse coming in.
Is that the one they took to New Zealand?
Yeah, and she ran good over there. She ran one good, one ordinary, I think. But look, she rolled forward last start and sort of was pretty plain after. I think she might have been something like 13s into 8s. But, where there's smoke, there's fire. But, yeah, I couldn't have her off that in recent form. But obviously watch the money.
13, Madame Rouge, been pretty ordinary this last couple. Any
chance? Yeah, you like mares in form. And she was, I wouldn't say she was horrific last start, and before that might have been wet track she doesn't like. So, look, a few little excuses, but I can't come into her. She'd have to be at her very best or better to be winning, and she's definitely not at the moment.
14, we move on to Tony Gollan trained Outback Barbie. Like this time last year, it was right in the mix. You're getting $34 about it this time this year.
Yeah, amazing price, isn't it, when you think about how good she is and that run Magic Millions Day. She's one of my favourites. I do love her. She's no good around here, though. She's had a few chances. I think she's had 5 starts, and a few of them you thought she would just turn up and win. So she won't get me this time. I just thought she had every conceivable last start, and, I'm not on this week. As much as I love her, I don't give her a winning hope.
Mate, on to the 15 Bams on fire. Typical go forward horse, but had a bit of luck. Just missed in the Group 1 down in Adelaide. Coming from behind. It's got the ace here. How's its chances?
Yeah, no, actually one of the better roughies for sure. I reckon that pure class-wise might need to lift a little bit, but Gate 1 can either probably box seat here. Let that speed go, box seat, lightweight, really consistent in the right yard. Definitely can't knock it around $26. Another one of those horses like Deep Image will give a good side, I think, if they can grab a couple of cheap sectionals, these leaders. They might be very hard to run down. Most strategies we talk about how hot the tempo is, but yeah, I think Bands on Fire is one of the better roughies.
Then into the 3-year-olds, ever since Private Steer got up, and I've had every cent I had in my wallet on it that year. I've been a fan of
how much was that?
This sort of profile. It wasn't
6,000.
much back then, I'll tell you. Back struggling to make, what was it, about $120 a week, slaving away on the hammer. But, mate, it got a bit that day, and I'll tell you what, I was excited. I think I drank it all that night. But anyway, the 16, Dawn Passage, 3-year-old from the Bottom Waterhouse team. Good win last week. Can it back up?
Yeah, the Waterhouse Bot team and in form. It was a good ride last week, Brad Stewart. They wanted to play games, and he just kept pushing forward, no hesitation, gets across and gives them a beating. They're going to have to do similar tactics. You'd love to have Brad on again because there's no one better from a bad gate. He obviously can't ride this light, but this horse is the one that's sort of surprised me out of the 3-year-olds. We knew the other 2. He's just improving. He's got that speed early if they want to use it. Look, if he's mine, I probably just want to find the shoulder of Deep Image and go across with him, sit outside lead if you can. Lightweight, horse on the way up. Out of the 3-year-olds, he's probably the one on top for me out of them.
Yeah, then we've got the second of the 3-year-olds, 17, Hightail, probably a bit of a class jump for it, but can it make the step?
Yeah, always sort of looked like a 1,400-metre horse. I'd say was good Magic Millions Day, but had his chance to finish off behind Alligator Blood. Good win against decent quality 3-year-olds last time. Good gate. I'm always scared of leaving out a Snowden runner. They will just have him peaking. He'll be at his absolute top. I haven't got him in my numbers, but no knock on the horse. Just as I said, you can't have them all, and he's one that I've gone the other way, Dawn Passage instead of him.
Yeah, and round out the main field, bar any scratchings, 18 Exhilarates. So it's had a couple, hit the line nicely. Its last couple, it seems like it's been probably pointed towards this as its swan song.
Yeah, it gets formed through the other two-year-olds that we just mentioned. Hasn't been far off them. She's probably every bit as good of them. When you look at the gates, she can probably land midfield. She has got a really good turn of foot. Probably just needs to be held up to hit the line strong over the 1400. Genuine chance if you're looking for rough. Well, I guess she's not rough, is she? She's probably. I probably like a few others at bigger odds than her, but she's a chance to fall into the money. I haven't got a winning, but she can run well without surprising.
So that's a look at the field. So I guess the $1 million question. What are you steering us towards? What's your top four, or how would you be betting in the race?
As I said, I think the safe bet might be Victorium, just knowing that you're going to get the right run. You're going to probably land fourth pair with cover. And if he gets to the outside, I think he'll be hitting the front of the 100. And then it's a matter of holding off your Nick and Overs and your tie zones. And like I said, with them, they're going to need that luck. I don't like relying on luck in these races. So if I'm having a bet, I'll probably back Victorium and Nick and Nova, both sort of win bets, I reckon. I've gone 5, 3, 16, which is Dawn Passage, and then 6 tie zone. So they're the 4 I've taken. I'd have a slight lean. Like I said, I did like tie zone, but I don't know how tie zone's $10 and Nick and Nova's $20. I don't think he should be twice the price of tie zone.
What do you like, Steve? Are you heavy on Dawn Passage by the sounds of things, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't reckon they'll go along too quick. They're drawn outside, slide across. It'll sit outside, and they'll be the one they have to get past, I think, at the 150. So
Dawn Passage.
Anyway.
Troy, what are you on?
Oh, I've gone twice on Exhilarates. I'm going to stick with him. I think his runs have both been good, and I think he's peaking now. He's not from a bad gate either. He's in 4, so he should sit well, and hopefully a few of the other ones that are favoured don't get as good a run and hit the line well.
So you're with the filly, the 3-year-old, Joel?
I'm with Troy, the 3-year-old little girl, 49.5. Taylor Marshall just gets a dream run in behind him, I think. And like we were saying there before, things like Cheap Ironside and Deep Image, they might inject a bit of speed into the race. This is my thinking anyway. Then you got Dawn Passage all coming forward. I don't know, Gibbo, what do you take on some of these rougher ones? They'll have to change tactics. Like, surely they can't sit off them and try to expect to sprint past some of these A-graders.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like you said, horses like Chief Ironside and that, you really do want to put them in the race. And, even a horse like Graf hasn't been in great form. You don't want to be dropping out from – he's got a decent go, doesn't he, off the top of my head? Yeah, from 2.
What about Kementari, something like that?
Kementari, look, I don't reckon Kementari's probably got that early speed to sort of push forward and be somewhere in that first few pairs. But if he jumped well, it probably wouldn't be bad tactics for him because what they're doing is not working. So try anything on him. I'd put a set of Spurs on.
I just thought with the Godolphin mob that they might try to lead or put that speed in the race and set it up for something like Trekkett,
Yeah, correct. And even their other one, Exhilarate, she'll like that speed on if she can just camp in behind them. So
she keeps him behind 49.5 and just peels off and bang, or gets a split.
And like we said, it can look like you can map it without a lot, and then you only need 3 or 4 of them to want to hold that spot from an inside gate, and all of a sudden they've gone 5-6 lengths quicker than you thought they would have, and then all of a sudden the back markers are in it again. You don't, like I said, you don't want to be getting caught up in behind them like last year. One of those horses, and so those ones down the outside, all of a sudden those bad gates, if they were 3 wide with cover, they're the ones getting clear running and running over the top. So maps are always important, and that's the reason I sort of thought Victorian can land midfield and get to that outside before the trouble starts.
Tell you what, there's a bold statement just not come up on the screen before, Troy. You meant Peter Dan. He's declared Kementari.
Oh,
absolutely no idea.
He declared it 2 weeks ago at work. Look where it went. Hey,
One of the panel here was a heavy Kementari early this prep too.
Yeah.
He was, wasn't he?
The one in the jumper.
Yeah, big sauce drinker, milk drinker, milk saucer.
Tell
Yeah,
Peter to stick the tip in his brother's horses.
I think
Johnny's-
everyone's been a Kementari person at some stage, I reckon. Jeez.
Yeah, I was at the start of the prep, but
You can't geld a
lost
horse
me
twice,
after a
can you?
Who's braver, Kementari or Tom Melbourne?
Good question.
Tom Melbourne's consistent.
Yeah, Tom at least he won second every time.
In Group 1s.
You watch Kementari's a special this weekend.
Yeah,
now.
You watch,
Exactly.
you watch what happens now. What about the JJ Atkins? What do you make of the other Group 1, Gibbo?
Mate, I reckon it's one of the, I won't say strangest races, one of the hardest races you could ever assess. I reckon there's 8 or 9 of them that in a normal year just wouldn't be racing here. It's obviously they've condensed the carnival, and this is the Group 1 for 2-year-olds, 1,400. 10 of these are just 1,100 metre horses going to the 1,400 because it's a race that's been put on, and there's massive queries on a heap of them. So, look, they might just be, your Rothfires, your Wisdom Waters, Isotopes, they might just be too good. They might just be classy and beat them. I just don't want to be taking $3 something Rothfire when I know I'd kick myself if he didn't run it out and it was too short. But look, I've just gone shopping for value because of that, because I think there's queries on a lot of runners over the Eagle Farm 1,400. And I've gone for one with a horrible gate in Overlord, Boris Thornton to ride.
Yeah, the Peltzer form.
Yeah, the Peltzer form's outstanding in Sydney, and the run two back, the late sectionals were really good two back, some of the best of the day for a 2-year-old. That's outstanding. Last start, some said disappointing, but it was as heavy as you like. Like I said, beaten by a good horse, and it was still a pass mark. I'm sort of half forgetting that one around, going on the runs before that, and I think he'll be strong late, just needs some sort of cover from there, and I think the 18s might be overs for Overlord.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the Peltzer form is pretty strong. So, around the 20 to 1, that suits the value shoppers. So, or $21 something it was earlier today. So, that'll do me. Now, righto, Gibbo, let's talk a few war stories here before you let you go. You're a professional punter, or you are along those lines. What's your most memorable win? You don't have to give us dollar figures, etc. But what's the...
Oh, jeez.
What goes into the vaulters?
Jeez, I don't know. Can't think of the top of my head. I do like a few early spring. I'm not big on all-in punting, but going into sort of the spring, I'll always have a few. I do a fair bit on the Melbourne Cup, so each Saturday I'll have a few I like into something in the Melbourne Cup, and it's panned out really well. I think 5 of the last 6 years I've had good results, and I go to the races with one of my best mates, so I put every one of them down because Melbourne Cup nights, 5 of the last 6 years have been outstanding. and the year I didn't get it was Prince of Penzance. Could you believe it? I run second with Max Dynamite.
Yeah, great. What about you?
Mate, how did you get into professional punting? Like, there's one of us here on the panel that wears a jumper tonight, but he's been considering it as because of his last 6-7 weeks on the punt. So how would you advise him to get it into the game?
Oh, outstanding. Don't do it. No, I'd say I'm semi-pro. I'm not making a full-time living off that, but doing the rest of it helps. But, well, it's pretty much just I've been punting all my life and doing the websites and that, as I said, and ended up just biting the bullet, to be honest. And when I bit the bullet, there wasn't much work around, so we relied heavily on that side of it. And, geez, you learn. I'm still learning now. There's a lot of mistakes to be made. And you've got to be prepared. You've got to be prepared for losses. People just think you wake up every morning and just back winners all day. It doesn't happen. And you can have some horrible runs. But no, look, there's a lot better blokes than me out there. But look, I just think you be patient. You don't overbet. I guess you just back yourself in. But I'd be doing before anyone went and did it, I'd be keeping records and give yourself 6 months, 12 months to try and get down to a fine art and try and see how it's going to go for you. Because if you can't deal with those losses, it's not a great sport.
Everyone's a great loser
Yeah.
at some stage. So, what about? To see you got the Masters jersey on there. You still running around, kicking the footy, or what?
Just the Masters every year now. That's a good thing. If you haven't done it, boys, get to the Masters. That's some sort of trip. We've got a little kitty going that goes in a little bank account, and geez, 3 or 4 days of horror there. It's a good comp, good people, and we've been going for 2 years now. Undefeated, the boys in 10 games.
Undefeated.
What are they throwing on the Sting, mate, or what?
What's that?
You at the Sting, or what are you doing?
Please, no, just in the halves. I just show and go. No,
Just in the halves. Just run off your shoulders, boys.
Yeah.
Get on me back, boys.
A lot of catch and pass, and then defend on the wing. That's the key.
Very smart.
Catch pass. Do love the footy, but there's no way I'd be still playing now.
Do you like anything else before they go to Eagle Farm this weekend? Anything else? That
I think Needorp in the last. I think that's one of the easiest races to match for the day, and Golan will just dictate the speed. Sugar Boom will come across. How Wonderful Life Is will sit outside that horse. Bailey will be on Needorp, just stranglehold. Stablemate will take her a long way into the straight. Sugar Boom will look the winner, I reckon. And then you'll just see Bailey swinging off Needorp, just peel to her outside and go past Giddy Up. That's the winner in the last.
So that's your best?
Yeah, Needorp will be winning, I reckon. The Godolphin horse looks the main danger. But what else? I think in the staying race, I think Ballistic Boy gets his chance to beat Super Giant, but Super Giant's a horse I've always thought the further they go, the better he'll go. So I'm definitely haven't put a line through him. But Ballistic Boy's a tip there. Another Toowoomba horse, Socks Are Gone, can be winning. Only about 220, but no speed in the race, goes forward. Stewart on board. He'll just build the horse as he does and go through the gears and should be holding them off Socks Are Gone. So I think Socks Are Gone and Needorp are probably the best couple, but no massive value there.
Right,
Multi him up.
Plenty of multis to be had, so we can back those with confidence on the weekend. It's also for our viewers as well. Don't forget, we're going to head out to Southern Hotel next. So we'll play Jag the Joker, so stay online with that for your chance to win. Or try and play Jag the Joker, win a $50 voucher from the Southern, or 25 if you don't Jag the Joker. So that's coming up next. But Gibbo, for everyone if anyone wants just to tune in, check out your stuff, best place to go. We'll just jump onto the website and have a look.
Yeah, just go to brizzyraces.com.au. Probably haven't updated as much as I should this week on the real busy weeks, but come race day, there'll be links to free links to everything to get the selections and best bets and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, just Brizzy Races, mate, and they'll all be there.
Righto. So, well, Gibbo, thanks for joining us on the show. Really appreciate you giving us your time. Let's hope you've helped us find a winner or two for Stradbroke Day.
Giddy up, boys. Thank you. Thanks, Stats.
That's Blair Gibson joining us on the show. We'll take a break. We'll head out to the Southern Hotel. Play Jag the Joker up next after the break.
At the Southern Hotel, our Sunday steak special has been so popular. We want to offer it on Saturday too. 180 gram rump mignon, 400 gram New York cut T-bone, or a huge 500 gram grain-fed rump, all for just $23.95. It's better at the Southern.
It is better at the Southern, and he's joining us now. Shayne Mogg, he was chiming in there before. What do you like? What do you like in the Stradbroke? Give us
mate. I got a little bit of an inkling from a mate of mine that trekking might run a pretty good race, eh?
Righto. So you're with trekking.
We're definitely with trekking. I think you'll be running over the top of the plate.
Righto. You're with trekking. Now let's have a look in the background there. You got the footy on the big screen. What's happening at the Southern?
The footy's back. Yeah, mate. Well, before I get on to the Southern, I just want to have a quick shout out to little Corey Pakes making his debut tonight for the Broncos. I'm not a big Broncos fan, but let me tell you something about Pakesy. As an NRL player, he'll go all right. Certainly tipping is not something he's going to rely on for the rest of his life, having been on a few construction sites with him. So it's good to see him getting a start because I wouldn't want him building me house.
Yeah, so good luck to him tonight. But what's happening at the Southern? Plenty happening?
Mate, big news. I'll just get Greg to have a quick pan around for you. You have a quick look around the venue. We are back, boys. The NRL is back. The Southern is back.
Oh, how good's that look?
Oh.
I'm drooling.
Yeah, so, the Toowoomba's Home of Live Sports is back, bar 839. We will be kicking off tomorrow from midday.
Yep.
Obviously, we are at the mercy of the Queensland Government and Queensland Health regulations. We are limited to the amount of people we can get into the venue, and we won't be taking bookings for bar 839. It'll be once you're in here, first in, best dressed. But we will be the home of live sport. And one thing I can announce to you boys and your viewers right now, being the home of live sport, we will be showing the UFC this Sunday. Preliminary card starts at 10 a.m. when doors open and goes through to obviously the big welterweight clash, which should be an absolute cracker. I know there's a bit of bad blood there. So get in early, get your seat, and we will endeavour to bring live sport back to you guys as best we can and accommodate everyone as best we can.
Excellent. So great news for that. So that's coming up there on Sunday. So to get out to the Southern. What about the Tab? They open soon, or what? Did I read something about that?
12 p.m. Tab is back. Tab is online. Obviously, again, we have to go through the social distancing regulations and you have to be seated to have your bets, but the TAB will be in full swing from doors open tomorrow.
Righto, so tomorrow's a pretty exciting day. Righto, let's have a look. Jag the Joker. So tell us a bit about now. I just want to say as well, for someone who's online, what I'll do this way, with our producer Zach, will see the first person who throws up an emoji or something, some sort of something, anything, any comment, anything like that. First one I see that pops up, we're going to do. So tell us about Jag the Joker.
All right, so Jag the Joker, doors open tomorrow. We want to give you guys a chance to win a bit of drink and silver on us. So what you've got to do is cards are available. Obviously, some have been picked. If you can pick the Joker, we'll give you a $50 bar tab. Just for having a crack, we'll give you $25 if you miss out. All I need you to do is give you a row, and then the card on that row you would like me to turn over. Nominate the card from left to right.
Rion Hitchener. He's got the old flex muscle emoji. Nice one. Righto, Rion, flex your muscles here. Now you need to choose a row, choose a card, and Shane will turn it over and we'll see if you can Jag the Joker. So if you chuck that in the comments section as well. So $50 voucher if you can Jag the Joker, $25 if you don't. So you're a winner either way. But let's see if you can Jag the Joker. So they're the cards we've turned over in recent weeks. So you've got plenty to choose from, Rion. So chuck us in the comment section which card you want turned over. Row 3, card 2. Moggy?
Oh, I tell you what, I reckon he's pretty close. Got it!
Oh, beauty! Yo, beauty!
What a way to open up.
Come on down.
Rion.
And come on down tomorrow, see the crew, and grab your $50 Southern Hotel Bar 839 voucher. Obviously, you can use that on food and beverage. Unfortunately, it doesn't qualify for the punt, but it's a great way to get a little punty kitty together anyway. You don't have to dip into your own pocket for the first few beers.
I don't think Rion's allowed to punt in his profession, but we'll see what happens there. I'm sure he'll make use of it another way.
He's level that.
So Rion's the winner. That's not. So what happens now? What do we do with Jag the Joker?
That's a good way to end the
Well,
competition.
mate, I think you and I are going to have a bit of a yarn during the week and see how we do this moving forward. I'll probably be fine. One job I had was from the but yeah, so I'll touch base with you boys during the week, and obviously we'll try and keep these live crosses coming on a Thursday to show the people how we're evolving and how everything is evolving week to week in the hotel, and keep everyone in the loop on what we're doing. Because, like I said, we're going to try and keep our home live sports name and keep people interested in the venue.
Excellent. But what it does show is that it's a fair dinkum competition and someone can win. So someone has Jag the Joker.
Yeah.
1 in 52 chance. What are the odds?
That's a sensational way. I think I'll be probably forking out 50 out of my wallet. Richard's probably texting me now. But look, once again, just like a quick shout out to everyone who supported the Southern Hotel, be it through our takeaway meals, our takeaway liquor, even just dropping in to see how we're going. Without the support of the community, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have our team together. So it really is the help of the community and you guys pushing it for us that have got us to where we are, and we are very grateful for that. So thanks to everyone, and as the restrictions ease, we hope to see you all in here, and hope to get you boys in here for a feed, a beer, and a yarn anyway pretty soon.
Excellent. But the big thing to say for that big announcement tonight, so Sunday, the UFC will be on the big screens there. So 10 o'clock, the preliminary card starts. So for people that want to come along to that, get in early and get a spot, because, again, numbers and social distancing obviously is something that you have to abide by at the moment.
That we do. And look, it's going to be sort of the way of the future, but we want to bring as much normality back to everyone as we can. So get in, support us, guys, and we'll do our best to accommodate you.
Right, so that's on Sunday. Moggy, thanks for joining us. Good luck with trekking on the weekend, and I hope it's a big weekend for everyone at the Southern.
I'll give you one here. Race 3, Horse 8, Adelaide. That is where your biscuits should be.
Race 3, Adelaide.
That thing will get you your chocolates. That'll build the bank for late.
Race 3, number 8 at Adelaide.
First starter. 7's into 320. Get on early, boys. It's going to jump favourite.
Well, it sounds like we missed it. Sounds like we didn't get on early enough.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
you should have had this show yesterday. I could have got onto you.
We've got
$3.10. She's $3.10 now.
There you go. It's still tumbling. It is a good thing. Cheers, lads. I'll leave you with that one.
Right, thanks, Moggy. Shayne Mogg joining us there from the Southern. There you go, Rion Hitchener is Jag the Joker. We've given it away. So, fair go.
Yeah, good.
Well in. Straight out the
good.
middle. He flexed the muscle and he showed it too. Bang.
Exactly. Yeah, good. The Southern up and running there. Live sport back on there.
We got to get there, haven't we?
Yeah, so what's that? 4 of us, so they'll only be allowed another 16 in there. That's all right.
I'll tell you what, I was going
to
ask Moggy what he's backing in the UFC. Geez, he's got a pretty good strike rate with backing the UFC fighters, hasn't he? Remember at Christmas time when he had 1,000 with his mate or something and got rolled?
Yeah, on the Aussie bloke, didn't he?
That's right.
We were out there. Yeah,
Geez, he was dark. He just went real quiet, didn't he? Just done his one.
Oh, so that's Jag the Joker. Let's play for the Southern Hotel, guys. It's all about the NRL this weekend in the shot clock. We saw a lot of things change last week in the NRL. So first question, I'll put it up actually as a poll question during the week as well, just the new rules. So the captain challenged the 6 again, the way that's conducted. Good or bad for the game, Steve?
Yeah, I loved it. I didn't even know that was part of any rule changes. And then I'd seen 6 again, and then this beeping noise, and I was thinking, what's going on here? And then Parramatta was marching down the field, and I don't even know if the Broncos really knew what was going on. Obviously, they would have been informed of the new rules, but I loved it. And through all the games, it just sped it up. Like, it took that laying in the ruck, give away the penalty until they take 2 for that absolute bore fest. And I reckon it's awesome. The 6 again. And then the captain's challenge as well. Went pretty well, I think, with the one referee. I don't think there was too many headlines around the refereeing, which is what you want. You want the games to be able to rule the reports. And, it's pretty cool. I liked it.
Troy?
Oh, if you didn't like it, you're a goose, aren't you? Like the brand of football over the weekend was unbelievable. Obviously, a lot of teams are going to have to adapt to the way it's played now. But geez, if that's the product that's going out to the rest of the world at the moment, we're in good hands. So yeah, it was good, and it's going to take away the thing that I've hated the most the last few years is the wrestle. So the wrestle's going to go, and they say the Melbourne Storm are the best team at adapting. Well, let's see how they adapt to this. That's what I want to see.
Good call. Joel?
Yeah, Troy just took the words straight out of my mouth with the Storm there. They were sort of a bit blindsided by it all too. You talk about the Broncos sort of not knowing what was going on. I'll tell you what, the Raiders, they had it down pat. I love the new rules. Captain's challenge, it seems to work. The one referee, I don't think they'll ever go back to after this. I think this has just been a superb move by the NRL. One of the ones they've got right.
I concur with a lot of the comments you make, but just to throw a different spin on it, what happens and how do they determine late in the game or whenever a situation like that where a team would take the 2? What happens there? So if you're down 1 or scores
It's got to. No,
tied,
if it's a ruck infringement, I think it's 6 again.
6 again.
But if
yeah.
it's a blatant penalty, like if it's 2 on the tackle and a strip or something like that, then it's a penalty.
But that's the part where I reckon it'll be tested. Where all of a sudden it'll be, well, that should have been a
But if
They
you're
don't
laying
call-
on the
they
ruck,
don't call penalties in that time of the game anyway. They put the whistle away. You can pretty much do whatever
True.
you want. But
true. But
How,
as I
how
said,
are the coaches going to react? They like to get spins on things, don't they? And try and slow the game down a little bit. They're going to try something, aren't they?
yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I loved it. I'm the same. Like you said, it was the best product of the league we've seen in ages, fastest games, all of those sort of things. Actually, found some stats here before bringing up before, but that's the only thing I was thinking of is just in terms of it takes out the taking the 2, and does that put any different pressure on referees to make different calls later in a game when you know what's at stake? But a couple of the stats that popped up. So ball in play was up 2 minutes, 49 seconds. Average time in play between stoppage was up 10.3 seconds. This is on the normal time they've had in the past. Penalties per round was down 40. Total 6 agains in round 3 only was 53. Tries scored after the 6 again was 10. Bunker referrals was down a half. Tries per game, 5.69, was up to 6.25 in round 3. And line breaks, rounds 1 and 2 was an average of 6.38 in the first 2 rounds and up to 9.63 in round 3. So there's just a couple of stats that go with it. But anyway, if anyone else has got a different thought, share it, chuck it up in the comments what you thought of the new rules. So second question for the Southern Hotel shot clock. Well, which team was the most? There were some very impressive performances and there were some disappointing performances. So the question is, which team was the most impressive and which was the most disappointing in round 3? Bubs, you can kick us off.
Impressive. I'm going to go with the Green Machine. It's just like they've just carried on from last year and the first 2 games of this season. They've gone down to Melbourne and they've pulled their pants down again. And they did it well too. They looked at ease and they just look confident at the moment. They look good. Raiders look really good. They were slick the other night. They were the best for me. We're doing worse as well.
Yeah.
Disappointing. Dragons, not far behind my mob, Brisbane. But, Dragons play the Warriors, who everyone have tipped to come bottom. And they were disgusting. Didn't put a point on the board. I think the stat popped up. I think I've won 2 games in like their last 15, I think it is, for the Dragons. So, yeah, they're in a world of hurt. And I think Mary McGregor, a couple of weeks, he could be on the chopping block.
Joel, best and worst?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Troy with the worst. The Dragons, I don't like the roster they've got. You look at their forward pack, and they should be going a lot better than what they are. I think they've made the right call this week in terms of shifting Corey Norman back to fullback and bringing in an actual half. So that'll be an interesting one. But they were disgusting. They didn't even look like scoring, and I think the Gillaroos would have put on a better show than what they did against the Warriors. So they could be the worst. And for the best performance, I'm going Steve's mob, the Knights. That game on Sunday might not have been the most skillful, but in terms of willing, that's what the Dragons need to show, actually, what the Knights showed there. A ton of guts. They were down, 14-0. They lost Pearce in the first tackle, Watson the first 6 minutes, Fitzgibbon before the kickoff, no Ponga, handful of debutants, and just played well above their weight. They unearthed some young stars there, the Knights, and I think they're going to be they'll be thereabouts, I reckon, by the end of the year. I think they'll be, once they get their full roster together, with McCulloch coming in, they're going to be a serious footy side.
Steve, best and worst?
Well, I was going to go the worst with Penrith. How they did not put 40 on the Knights and blow them out of the water, like that's... I think that they showed that they lacked Cleary and a bit of guidance there. But the Knights did everything. Well, 35% of the ball, and they had none of the possession. Did all the tackling, and then butchered it at the end. So that was a bit heartbreaking. But anyway, so I think Penrith, as a point of not getting a win, was probably the most disappointing. And then probably the Eagles. I didn't see the Raiders game, but obviously they towed them up. But the Eels were good and took their opportunities. I think they just like in the back end, it was a bit of a tussle, I thought, for the first 40. And if Broncos that back end of the first half took their opportunities, it might have been a different game. But you can only do what you do, and they were pretty good. I think that's as we lead into the next a little bit of the question, that those sort of teams with your young, your fit guys that are a bit ad lib are going to be the teams that really excel with these changes.
No, it'll be interesting to follow what comes up in a couple of weeks. I'm with, I thought the most disappointing by far, in my opinion, was Melbourne. They were terrible. Canberra was outstanding, no two ways about it. But Melbourne, the amount of ball they had and chances they had, and they were just horrible. Yes, St George was woeful, Gold Coast was terrible, but I mean, you kind of expect that. Dare I say it? But
it's typical Titans.
That's what I mean. So, unfortunately,
they were in it for a half.
Unfortunately, that's what I mean. Where Melbourne, you don't necessarily expect them to win all the time, but they were horrific. The amount of drop ball and opportunities, they were just so un-Melbourne-like. And as I said, Canberra played really, really, really well. So, and that, on the flip side, I thought they were the most impressive team I saw on the weekend. So maybe they made Melbourne look bad, but I just thought Melbourne did so many things that was just so unlike them. The opportunities they had, the opportunities that they bombed, the drop ball here and there was so not what we expect from Melbourne. So
had the chances, didn't they? Melbourne.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Last tackle options were horrific.
Just shocking.
Just repeat sets.
Put the grubber kick in.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
He'd be playing reserve grade if I was coaching.
So for me, that's why I make them the worst. I said in Canberra, but Parramatta are pretty close behind them as the best teams. There were some really good, really, really, really good performances there. Brett Gurski's into you, Joel, saying that you always agree with Troy. So
yeah, great minds think alike, Brett.
Leading to the final question of this. So which players or teams do you think will thrive or struggle under these new rules? Because you have to say it's a different game. So Stevie's half kicked us off there before, so you can keep rolling. Which teams will thrive? Which will dive? What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, I think they'll thrive. You see your Parramatta's, you guys that are good, your agile forwards and that go forward. When they get rolling, it was a bit like touch footy where they'd actually take the touch, get the quick ruck, roll through, and you just bang, 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 and you're pumping that out. And the teams that really got crucified were those ones that had the ruck infringements. I think there's one there, Broncos there had potentially 24 tackles in a row they would have had to make without the ability to take a break. So if you don't score after that, like you can, the bigger guys that need to slow it down so they can get back and do all that now. I think they'll struggle. So, and I think Melbourne, they're obviously the big team. They've built their game on winning the ruck,
slowing down the ruck.
Wrestles, so they're the obvious ones. And I don't my pick to be up there again, but before the season started. But they're going to need a complete overhaul. But I do like that. And I like the Knights. I like Ponga would have absolutely carved up there, and then Tex Hoy, and then the Chris Randall, the young fella in there. So, pretty exciting. There hasn't been much to be excited about being a Knights fan over the last 6 or 7 years. So, fingers crossed, we're on the upward spiral.
Lovely. Joel, best who's thrive, survive?
Mate, I think it's Steve's hit the nail obviously on the head there. The smaller blokes in around the ruck and that, but I think it really emphasises now the importance of like a good defensive set in terms of your dominant tackles. It's really going to slow all that down, in terms of they're going to, it's not about the wrestle anymore. So you want to make sure that when you're hitting them hard, that you're driving them back and that's stopping the go forward, I suppose. So probably on the flip side of that, teams that are, I think they're going to really focus on your driving tackles again, which will, be a spectacle. But, ones with the little dummy halves that are going to get in around the big slower forwards around the ruck after about 20 minutes, they're just going to absolutely carve them to bits. So, Damien Cooks, someone like that. They're the ones that are really going to make a mockery of it.
I thought they might tip them beat the Roosters, and they were ordinary.
They were terrible. They were terrible.
Yeah, but their pack did nothing, though. They didn't help him out, you know what I mean, in terms of him being able to get like that.
They got monstered. Run.
Yeah. The Roosters just never give him a hope.
Troy, what are you running with? Thrivers, survivors?
I'm going to go with, I think Melbourne are going to struggle. I don't think they're going to struggle to be down the bottom, but I think they're going to struggle in a way where they're not going to be in a position where they've been the last few years. I think I can't see them finishing the top, top three or four. I think they're going to be more of a 5, 6, 7, 8 side this year. They've got some big forwards in there. I think they're going to struggle. Teams are going to thrive. I think, like, as we said before, the Raiders are going to thrive on it. And they get that quick play, and then the little genius Hodgson just has a field day when he gets a bit of time. Roosters, they'll go well as well, I think. Blokes like Tedesco and that will have an absolute field day. So, yeah, but I think Melbourne, I don't think they're going to struggle to be out of the 8, but I think they're going to be down in the bottom part of it.
I'll buck the trend. I think the opposite. I think the Storm will adapt, and I think they'll go really, really well into this system. A couple of reasons. Joel sort of made a few points on it before. What? That they won't make the 8?
No, I'll go 5, 6, 7, 8. You go top 4.
I think they'll finish 5, 6, 7, 8 anyway.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
They'll finish 5, 6, 7, 8, mate.
But the reason, I think, is that because they are so good around the ruck, dominant tackles, players on the back, all the rest of it. And secondly, and then the likes of Pappenhausen and Munster, that ad lib style of footy. And then when they get a roll, and they've still got good mobile back rowers. And Smith he's always been able to control the game. But I think I've mentioned to you boys earlier in the week, I just think hookers have always been so important in the game of rugby league, but I think they've never been more important than right now. You mentioned some guys there before, like Hodgson, what they're able to do off the back of good go forward. Damien Cook, even though his team was ordinary last week. Saw what Reid Marnie did for Parramatta. So all of a sudden,
Harry Grant for the Tigers.
Yeah, all of a sudden that creativity and speed in the ruck and of the dummy half is so crucial and worth just $1 million. And that's where, interested to get your thoughts on this, Troy, being a Broncos man. And now that Turpin's down, I had the team that I think will struggle with it is the Broncos, because I don't think Jake Turpin has that in his game to be really creative. And
it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
He's got to adapt. Like Brisbane's forwards, they got their full forward pack there.
Outstanding.
They got some unbelievably mobile forwards. They're going to make some really good meters, but then
it's a hooker's dream.
It's whether he can evolve is going to be the big
That's
thing.
why McCulloch went no good either. He just made his tackles, McCulloch, and he was
was a machine at tackling. But so that's what I mean. Like, so could you imagine a Cook or a Hodgson off the back of some of that Broncos go forward when they get their full pack going and those blokes rolling forward the way that they do, like Parramatta did the other night.
But that's the style that Corey Pakes is. That I think he'll show a lot.
Excited to see,
yeah. Here's a quick one. Have you seen
that little half that halfback mentality to look up and run and things like that? That's what you need.
Have you guys seen a bloke that's matched up with Smith so well over the years, as in Hodgson?
Yeah.
He's got the points on him over the last season and a bit. Hodgson.
Yeah. I tell you what, boys, another team we didn't mention and went enormous. Probably will go enormous. Yeah, they looked unreal, didn't they? I mean, they played the Bulldogs, but they're probably expected to do that. That'll be a cracking game this weekend.
Yeah, it will
really give the Para fans, a bit of an insight as to how they're really travelling, particularly against a side like Manly. Yeah, likewise, it's just going to be a good matchup in terms of how they're actually going. You look at players like Jake Travojevic, who plays like a third halfback out the back there, the ball playing, with his brother, backyard footy. There'll be a bit of a dark horse, Manly. I think they'll saunter around the fifth position, and then come finals time, they'll really switch on.
And I'll throw a left field idea out here as well. Just as I said, like I was saying with the Broncos, with Turpin and that. If it doesn't work out with Pakes, he's quite young, obviously, and we talked about having Dearden sitting there in the sidelines as well. Do you reckon he's much maligned? You reckon Milford will be some chance of going all right at 9?
Yeah, he's not a half.
Speed around the ruck.
Yeah, he's no good anywhere else. Try him.
No.
Seen more going to stop sign than Manly.
Couldn't agree more. Hate Manly.
They look right, baby.
He surfaced after his multi sort of last week.
Really? Yeah.
His old teleplay.
Well, yeah, exactly. So anyway, that would talking about sick beats, but anyway, that was some multi. But anyway, that's a look at some of our questions we've got in the Southern Hotel shot clock. We'll take a break on the semi-pro. Stay with us. We'll wrap up the show after the break. We'll have a look at our Hogans Family Jewelers Rocks and Diamonds throughout the post earlier in the week. The other thing that was of most note in the NRL, we saw all of the Slim Shady. Please stand up. That was back in a big way. So we asked a question this week with the Rocks and Diamonds, the best and worst hairdos in sports history. Put up a few good picks during the week of it as well. But that's up next to wrap up the semi-pros.
Hi guys, Lockie here. Hogans Family Jewelers. Today we're looking at how you select a perfect. We need to consider the cut, colour, clarity, and weight. In terms of discussing the cut of the diamond, we need to consider the aspects of the quality of cut. At Hogans, we only source triple excellent cut diamonds. In terms of colour, we look for the perfect white stone. We source stones from a D through to a G in colour, the top 4 colour gradings. Clarity is another really important factor in selecting your diamond. We don't want to look at the diamond every day to see inclusions or marks in the stones that distract from the beauty of the piece. The final of the 4 C's is carat weight. A lot of people believe that the diamond's value is based just on its carat weight. This isn't truly the case. It's a combination of all the 4 C's put together. There's one final hidden factor that I need to discuss about finding the perfect. It's called fluorescence. When she wears the ring, natural sunlight, UV light, where the diamond is supposed to sparkle at its optimal level. You don't want any reaction. You don't want the diamond to go foggy or a milky colour, or even a neon blues or diamond. This is why we only sell fluorescent diamonds to make sure that diamond stays crystal clear whether you're indoors or outdoors. There'll be no reaction. Fluorescence is one of the largest factors of devaluing a diamond. Be careful. Out there you might find diamonds that seem cheap, truly they're going to be cheap for a reason. At Hogans, we prefer our clients to experience superior quality diamonds. We only source the highest grade of GIA certified diamonds. That's the Gemological Institute of America, the harshest grading lab in the world. Some of you may have done some research on diamonds before and may fully understand the 4 Cs. But if not, we've got knowledgeable staff that will help you and guide you through selecting the perfect diamond. At the end of the day, it's all about quality. At Hogans, we prefer quality.
Prefer quality at Hogans. That's how to pick the perfect diamond. Hogans Family Jewelers Rocks and Diamonds of the week. So best and worst hairdos. There's been some good ones over the years. Who's got one for us? Either or something?
Yeah, I'll go some.
I'll go worse.
You go.
Yeah.
Since you got no hair, mate, you go.
Well, they're the good ones, mate. They're the good haircuts, eh, Steve? See?
He was speaking about growing it last week like Darren Lockyer, so he might be on his side.
Too, wasn't
that
it?
was his diamond, wasn't it? That was his diamond.
Darren Lockyer.
Yeah, that was someone was meant to get onto Lockie and found out how he got that just to miraculously reappear on top of his head without doing anything. Jesus, this would be nice.
I'm going to go worse. Remember, Joel, remember it being an old soccer player, Ronaldo.
You've just pinched mine.
I've got the original Ronaldo with the little tuft. He had a shave
from Brazil,
little tuft at the front.
Yeah, 2002 World Cup.
Absolutely disgusting. It was terrible, wasn't it?
Certainly.
Yeah, so
he just had it all shaved in this little ear.
Yeah, like this little piece there.
Yeah.
He's an ugly man to go with it too. Jeez. Yeah, Ronaldo for me.
So you're both running Ronaldo. Righto.
Joel, what I go, you know?
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to your curtails again. No, you know what? I'll go 1998, France World Cup. Fella from Colombia by the name of Carlos Valderrama. Had the big long curls. That can be my diamond. It was a luscious. That's what Steve it looked like a judge's wig. That's how long it was. You know, like that real long curl. Yeah, Carlos Valderrama. That similar sort of tinge to it.
There, Lou's timed it with Carl Webb's cue in the side of the head was pretty good. That was the best. Steve, what do you got for us? Anything?
Can we go? Can we?
Rocks and diamonds?
Is it wrong to go the Lyle Teskey comb over?
It's not wrong.
I just got inspired by some soccer player here. Yeah, I'll tell you what. There's soccer players. What are they doing? But
that's some good ones.
Oh, it's horrors. But anyway, I reckon LaMelo Ball's. He's had the typical old buzz down the side, and then after raccoon-looking thing that jumped in a bottle of bleach thing on top. So
Matt King, Sideshow Bob from Tatey. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. So
yeah.
Who was the redhead playing for Canberra on the weekend in the forwards with the
Carl Stower?
Yeah,
with the shaves,
Corey
Horsbrough mullet.
Yeah,
Corey
it was not good. It was not good at all.
Another good one. Remember Matt Peterson? They used to call him Sideshow Bob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, on the wing.
Played for the Eels, played for the Titans.
Yeah. I was running with old for Simpsons here, like old Don Mattingly. Remember the sideburns? He played for the Springfield power plant team, and Burnsy made him shave him off. So there's nothing wrong with it.
His doppelganger.
Yeah.
The bubbler. I'll say a little voluptuous matting
of 2009.
Matting that you had back then, and the burns just down to the top of jawline. Jeez, you're a good-looking fella.
It was a look,
and any wonder he's no longer single, eh? Snap him up.
So can anyone tell me? So why was there all the, as I said, Slim Shady look in round 3 of the NRL?
Yeah, no idea.
There was a fair bit of it.
I saw him bleached it, I think.
Yeah.
One started it, and then they all just jumped on board.
That's what I mean. There was plenty out there running it. So anyway, that was a few thoughts there on that. Anyone else got anything to add on that? Or are we done?
I got a legitimate diamond actually. The VAR boys from Smithy's Gym, out of the Brendan Smith coffee shop window. It all started. I don't know the lady's name, but she's a massive Broncos fan. And the VAR boys have been involved with the academy, coming through with the ranks with the Bronx. Outstanding young footballers, outstanding young boxers and human beings. Jumped on board and got this lady a massive supporter pack from the Broncos and gifted it to her. I thought that was a pretty cool little thing to do. So it's a legitimate diamond, that one.
And probably also point out Corey Pakes, who said he's about to make his NRL debut tonight from Toowoomba, St Mary's boy as well. So good luck to him. Another Toowoomba boy continuing that tradition of playing in the NRL. And the other one, as I said, I mentioned earlier when we were speaking with Gibbo, fair effort. Steve Tregay said owner, breeder, trainer of Nick and Over to get to a Stradbroke. So basically the horse from womb to hopefully Group 1 winner on the weekend. So that takes us to for Hogans Family Jewelers. Let's wrap up the multi of the week. Try and find a winner. I was just talking about that horse. I'll kick us off. Nick and Over. I can't go past it. I think it will win the Stradbroke. It's $21, or it was earlier today. Its run last start in the Victory Stakes first up was outstanding. It over-raced early. It pulled. It was 3 wide the trip. They're making excuses for Vega 1 being 3 wide. Granted, it was. Tie Zone was 3 wide getting a toe in on the back of Nick and Over. None of them hit the line as well as this horse. First up, 1,200, doesn't suit. Goes to 1,400. Great record second up. Great record at Eagle Farm, which I think is important. As Gibbo said, though, just need a little bit of luck from 17 and hopefully a genuine enough tempo that it can get home. But I'm pretty keen Nick and Over at the 20s, and I'll go that way. Nick and Over at Eagle Farm. What is it, race 8, Stradbroke? So
something like that, yeah.
I'll find it. Well, we go Nick and Over for me anyway. So I'll kick us off. Joel, what are you running with?
I'm going Eagle Farm as well. Race 5, number 6, Jamie Lady. Boris Thornton for Stephen O'Day. Trial well, barrier 1. 2 from 3 first up. It's I think it's had 5 goes at the trip. It's 1, 2, 1 second, 1 third. So that'll do me. $3.20. Jamie Lady. I think it's a pretty fair sort of horse.
Jamie Lady. So mine it's race 8, number 3 was my horse. Race 8, 3, Nick and Over. Steve, winner. Something? Anything? Well, we'll go to Troy then.
Thanks, Steve.
Back her up,
I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm sticking with Brisbane as well. Brisbane.
He's doing.
Brisbane.
Keep going.
I'll keep going. Yeah, Brisbane race 3, number 14. Take T, the Kelly trained horse. Second up, you can get a nice little $7 about it at the moment. Second up, good form. Second up, so 2 for a win and a place. I think it ran a place first up. Yeah, ran second first up. So get on $7. I think I'll be getting the money.
Take two. We got Steve with us. Is he back? Louis just chimed in there for his team on Super Giant. He's back. What are you on? Winner.
Here he is. Juice. I'm going to stick with the Costa stable. Go Seen Too Many in the first.
Seen Too Many.
Turn tables on advanced warning and fill up for the bubbler beer party.
Yes.
Seen Too Many in the first race. 1 horse 3. Righto, that's our multi of the week. There we go. We're all at Eagle Farm, so good luck to us. So, and then Gibbo's given us 3 winners, and they're different from the 3 that we gave as well. So that hopefully sorts you out. 7 races on the card. Brian Simpson, what's he kind of Blacksaw Bloodstock double been worn? Righto.
Double yesterday too, the boys.
On Wednesday.
Yeah, double yesterday. Flying.
7
of the last 12. 7 of the last 12 have won. He reliably informs me.
Syndicate, that's the one you'd be in, wouldn't it?
Yeah, trying.
How good is Stradbroke Day, bud? It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I love it. I've still got memories of St. Basil winning for me back in 2005. I backed him for 2 months. Oh, gee, it was a good day. And I got the double, St. Basil into Singapore Sling. I think the next in the cup. I think it was. What a weekend. Hopefully we can do the same this weekend.
St. Basil couldn't win a Wheatwood and it won a Stradbroke.
In
a Wheatwood.
I got it from 20s all the way into 10 somewhere, and every other prize in between.
Yeah,
just kept backing it.
Yeah.
Easy bats. It's been some good memories from Stradbrokes. As Steve talked about running down the straight with private steer.
Like the hammer, whipping the bum.
It was an epic.
So good luck to Blacksaw Bloodstock with the team there as well. So with their couple of runs on the weekend, Needorp, we heard Gibbo before, made it his best. He's pretty keen that Needorp's the best bet of the day in the lucky last.
They're going to go a bit further forward on Isotope. I was just looking at that before. I reckon they might be a bit more aggressive if there's any inside mail that anybody may have out there.
See if Brian's for it. Good one, Tady La Montagna. Craig knew it. I was on it myself. One of Wayne Wilson's best calls, actually. In the very, very wet conditions, La Montagna. That was a good year. A real good year. So for the carnival. But what do you reckon? You want Isotope to go forward? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I just thought they might ride it a bit more aggressively and, be there.
Yes, there you go. There you go, Steve. So there's your answer. Yes.
Nice succulent in that case.
Isotope,
$8, isn't it?
So expect a forward showing. We hope so. So there you go. Isotope into Needorp. It's double.
Happy days.
It's all right. All the best to Brian and the team there as well with Blacksaw Bloodstock. Righto, boys, have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining us on the Semi-Pros. As always, it's great to have your company. Have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you next week.
There you go. Outstanding. That much talent running around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Pros. The Semi-Pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up.